Hi, this is Paul Briant with South Coast Yachts, the San Diego Beneteau dealer, and I'm going to do a video walkthrough on this 2013 beautiful Beneteau Oceanis 41. This is the 41, so this model came out in 2011, and so it was the first generation of these boats that had the chined hull, the mast back with the arch and that kind of thing. So this is a 2012, so she's a year after the initial release. One of the most successful boats that Beneteau's ever produced. Just did a lot of stuff really well. People loved the chined hull, ease of sailing with 104% jib, so very easy to tack and handle. Because of the mast back configuration, main and jib were almost identical size, so very balanced around the center of the keel. Mast is actually centered on the middle of the keel, so very balanced sail plan and foil configuration that made the boat easy to handle single hand with absolute ease, and very seaworthy. Long water line, so as you can see here, plumb bow, so long water line with a wide transom. This came from the offshore race boats. That technology trickled down, that knowledge and what they've learned in offshore racing to make a very stable platform that can handle many different sea conditions very easily and very short-handed and still sail really well. So I'll walk you through the whole boat, show you all the features. This boat, although it's a 2012, a lot of the systems have been upgraded, so all the running rigging, the sails, new sail drive, things like that. The list is pretty extensive of the upgrades on this boat, so I'll put a link in the description to the listing on Yacht World that has a lot more details, or you can contact me directly and I can go through that list of upgrades on the boat. So anyway, come with me on this boat walkthrough on Tiare. That's the name of the boat, and she's located here in San Diego at Sun Road Marina. So contact me for more information. So starting up at the bow, as I mentioned, really plumb stem. This is an option, this dual bow roller assembly. The thing I like most about it, and I've mentioned this before, is that the dual bow roller, very few people actually run two anchors on these boats. There's just not enough room, but it gives you the ability if you would like. But it's this bobstay here. Really nice bobstay that helps support this whole bow roller assembly. If you're anchored in heavy conditions, you have really good support for that bow roller, but it gives you an attachment point for a spinnaker, asymmetric or code 0 spinnaker for your tack line. Goes right there. Really nice, solid, very well designed. Love that feature. So like I said, long water line, plumb bow, so very little pitching. There's also a lot of buoyancy up forward, so very little or virtually no unsupported weight. There's buoyancy right there, so it stops the boat pitching in a seaway. You can see the chined hull here, so that's one of the features of this design. So the chined hull, the idea is that you heel it to that chine. You can heel it further, but ideally you want to get it to that chine, and it kind of acts like the edge of a ski, like a rail, and stops the back of the boat side slipping. And that's the idea. Also, it makes the boat really beamy, and so you have a lot of stability, so the boat doesn't roll as much. It has a lot more initial stability when heeled over, so it takes a lot to push that wide hull down in the water. So you don't sail this boat like you would a boat from the 70s or 80s, that IOR design or previous designs where you got the tow rail in the water. You don't do that with these. You're just going to slow the boat down. So anyway, let's step up on board and I'll show you the rest of the boat. So starting up at the bow, you can see these twin bow rollers here, and your 12-volt anchor windlass with a remote control here, and there's 130 feet of chain, and I think it's 160 feet of road. I may be wrong about that, but this is pretty new, one of those things that was replaced in 2023-24, so not 12 years old. So as you can see, wide foredeck here, makes the boat stable, easy to move fore and aft on the boat, even under a seaway. You have adjustable Genoa Traveller, Genoa track line, so you can adjust the lead on your jib from back aft. And then I forgot to mention, jib is a new Neil Pride in 2023-24, and then same with the main. This boat, interestingly enough, the current owner ordered 2 mainsails. This one has no battens, so this is also late 24, and the other one actually has partial vertical battens. So they're currently running it with no battens on it, but you have the option of running one with partial vertical battens. Take a look up the rig. We've got a radar, foredeck light, that type of thing. Another thing that was replaced in 23-24 is this spindle for the furling line for the mainsail, so you can furl from back aft. All your rigging is run back. All this running rigging is new. So new furling line, vang lines, main sheet, outhaul line, all this is new. She also has the spinnaker running gear, so no spinnaker, but she's got the spinnaker halyard and the clutches and all that kind of thing. Just run you through very quickly. This is a 2-cabin, 2-head boat, by the way. So you have a waste pump out for the forward holding tank, waste pump out for the aft holding tank, and water tank here, and diesel tank right here. You also have another water tank fill here, so you have a water tank under the forward berth and a water tank under the aft berth. So 53 gallons of diesel aft and 53 gallons of water aft, and then I believe it's 85 gallons up forward. So it's an important thing when you're looking at these Beneteaus on whether they have the extra fuel or extra water. This is a critical thing that a lot of listings don't mention, or it's buried somewhere in the specs, but it makes a big difference on whether you have the optional water tank or not on these boats. The teak has just been refinished. Teak's in excellent condition here, just been completely cleaned, resealed and finished with 3 coats of sealer, teak sealer on it. I think it's looks like Semco Natural to me. Winches wise, this has electric primaries, which is a huge feature on these boats. It's not really necessary because this jib is only 104%, so it's easy to tack, but it is a nice feature to have the electric primaries. Electronics wise, you have an autopilot control at each helm. So that's a very nice feature, so you can turn the autopilot on and off from either helm. And then you've got a little display here for wind speed, depth, all that kind of thing, and then a 12-inch Simrad multifunction display here. So this is chart plotter, radar, that kind of thing. Of course, as you've seen in other videos, this whole swim platform deploys down, or this bench seat I should say, deploys down and becomes your swim platform. It's got a electromechanical ram that lowers it down. It's not hydraulic, but it works like that to lower the thing down. So that's the control for that right there. The stainless steel wheels, leather covered, and then your Yanmar engine. We have 415 hours around there on this engine, so low hours. Like I mentioned, multifunction display, and this can actually swivel and rotate to either position. Nice big cockpit table here with some storage. There's actually a cockpit table light that plugs in there. And then she has these bottom sider cushions, antique cockpit seats. These are really nice, spongy, also make good man overboard devices. Toss a couple of those to anyone and they'll be comfy. So no bimini on this boat. Something I want to mention as well, you may not notice, is no bow thruster on this boat, although it is pre-wired for a bow thruster. So large cockpit, you have a shallow, because this is a 2-cabin, 2-head boat. You have your cabin to starboard here and no cabin to port, but you have what they call a butler's pantry with a storage locker that you can access from the cockpit locker here or down below, and I'll show you that. So this would be a shallow locker above the starboard cabin. And then of course the arch, it has a dodger. Of course we've got wheel covers, canvas wise, wheel covers, new cover over the companionway hatch to keep the sun out, and then this really nice dodger here with clear macrolon windows, crystal clear. And then you have a cabin top, electric cabin top winch for your halyards and things. You can also, this is not electric, but you can always cross these lines over from that manual winch to the electric winch, and that works really well. So I'll just give you another shot of the cockpit here. Very, very comfortable cockpit. Easily single, you can easily single hand this boat. So with that, let's go and take a look down below. So as I've mentioned before in other videos, but I'll repeat just in case someone hasn't seen my previous videos, one of the great features of these new designs was that there was no traveler in front of the companionway, because the mast was moved back in the boat to basically the middle of the keel, where previous generations it was on the leading edge of the keel or even forward of the keel. Because you move the mast back, the traveler would have to move back, but it can't move back because you've got your companionway in the way. So that's why Beneteau put the arch, and they didn't put, I'll give you a shot up here, they didn't put, so many people say, why didn't they put a traveler up here? Well, to run the traveler lines back would be super complicated, as you can see. You could stand up here and adjust it, I guess, but also because it would be so short and it's towards the end of the boom, you wouldn't get much effect out of it. Anyway, long technical explanation there, but it's just a fixed point, and if you sheet this on hard, the boom is going to be on center. So it's not like when you have a traveler and the boom sags off to leeward and you have to move the traveler up. So that's the technical explanation of why you have the arch. But putting the arch up there gives you the option, because you don't have a traveler, of making this companionway really large. You can see how large this companionway is, how long it is, and that companionway length enables you to have stairs at 45 degrees. If this companionway was shorter, you wouldn't be able to have these easy 45-degree companionway stairs. It just wouldn't be possible, because you wouldn't be able to get your head under the companionway hatch. So a wonderful feature, especially for us who are getting older. If you have dogs that want to be able to go down below, these stairs are wonderful, and you've got these sturdy handholds on either side. So now we're down below, and first thing I'll do is give you a shot of the engine. So the engine hatch is on gas struts, which is really nice, so it holds it up there. This boat has had just about all the through-hole valves replaced with bronze Grocos. Very good condition, and of course they sprayed with lana coat, stop corrosion. And so you've got a Yanmar with a sail drive. This sail drive was replaced in 2023, and so all new sail drive with a flexo folding propeller. So 414 hours, that's in April, mid-April 2025. So your coolant, your sea strainer right there, very nice installation. You've got your impeller, cooling water impeller right there. And then you do have large hatches, inspection hatches on either side for service. So I'll just give you a little shot of the salon, and we'll start to port aft. So this is what Beneteau called the butler's pantry, and you've got lots of storage here, storage drawers, this kind of thing. Really nice large lockers. You can use this as a workspace. You can see the owner has coolant and spares for the engine here. And then this big storage locker, there's more cockpit seating cushions there, your emergency tiller, and you can access this from the cockpit hatch there. The batteries are under here, 3 of them, and then there's 2 batteries over on the in the starboard cabin. And these are Group 31 AGMs. These were replaced new in 2023. And here's your companionway, or your engine inspection hatches there, large hatch. So that's the butler's pantry, and then you have the galley to port, 2-burner stove. You guys have seen all this before. Really nice freezer compartment with a pump out at the bottom, and then a separate fridge with a freezer compartment. Plenty of drawers, trash can. Look at that, that's clever, huh? Little things like that, design features which Beneteau does so well. 2 dual stainless steel sinks. This has a fresh and salt water faucet with a foot pump here, so if you're at sea you can wash your dishes in salt and rinse in fresh, or if your fresh water pump would go down, you can still get water out of the tanks using the foot pump and that faucet. Plenty of cupboard space along here, microwave. The boat is immaculately prepared. I must say, it is spotless. And the owners have really gone to great lengths to present a nice boat here and make her ready for sea. So emergency marine kit here, fire blanket, there's all the safety gear, the fire extinguishers are up to date, the flares are up to date. So just a nice boat, and she is absolutely spotless. I'll show you the bilges in a second here. Starboard guest cabin, and this nice queen size berth under here. There is a 2000 watt master volt inverter, so you can run the microwave or a TV, that kind of thing, when you're at anchor on the hook. The guest head, this is also can be a day head and shower. Boat is, as I mentioned, spotless, immaculate. Brand new Jabsco manual flush toilet. Very simple. These things are so reliable. They're just the go-to if you're offshore. They're just very, very reliable. Stall shower, so this is not a wet head. And then the salon, this table converts. There's some short legs you put in there, and then a filler cushion if you wanted to make this into a bed. The boat does have diesel heat, webste diesel heat, so very nice on those cold winter days. There is another multifunction Simrad display here. Little cabinets all the way around for storage. This is your nav station, so if you are eating, 2 people can sit here. You can move these around. This table actually slides back and forth, but it's nice if 2 people are just having a quick meal here. You can sit on either side. Just gives you the flexibility. You could push this all the way forward, move the chair back. Just yeah, very versatile. Nice clean upholstery. Very nice. It's kind of a very light gray upholstery. beautifully done. And then the master cabin, bright and airy. I should have opened this hatch here. There we go. Get some light in here. Light and air. Nice big hatch above the bunk. And then these big hull ports to port and starboard. And plenty of cupboard space here. Hanging cupboards, shelves. Lots of room for all your stuff. And then, as I mentioned, this is a 2-cabin, 2-head layout. So you have another head here. Spotless, no odor, because it has a diesel heat vent in the head. This is an electric flush toilet. Jabsco electric flush. So everyone wants to see the bilges, so you can see these bilges are absolutely spotless. There's not a drop of water in the sump there. Keel bolts, you can see this is the pan here that's bonded into the bottom of the hull. This is the hull here, and so this pan is bonded into the bottom of the hull, and the hull here is about 1.5 inches thick, so you've got about 3 inches of glass there, and then the keel bolts are bolted through these plates, so tremendously strong. And the pan also takes the compression of the compression post. Of course, that's where the mast is, and you can see the mast is in the middle of the keel, so these are the middle keel bolts here, so that's why these boats are so balanced and really nice and clean. This is how bilges should be. Very nice job. And then we come over to our electrical panel. You have your inverter control there, your AC and DC controls, and then your battery monitor here, domestic. Engine start batteries off right now, and your fuel, just the one tank, one fuel tank, 2 water tanks, but this is all your 12-volt stuff here. And then it does have Fusion Bluetooth stereo and a Simrad VHF radio with a remote that you can use in the cockpit. So that is the 2013 Beneteau Oceanis 41 Tiare, and she's available here in San Diego. She's at Sunroad Marina. My name is Paul Briant, and current asking price on this boat is $238. That's in mid-April 2025, but this does change, so please be aware of that. And you can contact me for more information about this boat at paul@SC Yachts, or send me a text or an email on my cell phone at 619-823-6186. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.